What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? Hmm. What's up, cool kids, and welcome back to another episode of the Langston Frazier Show. I am your host, Langston Frazier. It is a pleasure to be back with you guys after a little break of just over a year. I am glad to be back with you guys to kind of restart the podcast over. Lots been going on. I'll catch you up on all that over the course of our time here today. But if you're new to this podcast, again, my name is Langston Frazier. I'm the host of this podcast, and this is a golf-related podcast where we get to hear some of the most interesting stories affecting the game of golf from both inside and outside the ropes. And it features some of golf's up-and-coming names. So if you haven't checked out the old episodes, I highly suggest that you do. And that will catch you up on basically everything that's happened over the course of this great podcast. My latest episode, even though it's a year ago, with Abby Parsons of formerly the Golf Channel, Boston University women's golf team, now Whistling Straits and Coral Creek. Man, she's on the rise, so I'll have her back on the episode soon. She's had so much happen to her over the course of a year. Super incredible stuff, but if you haven't checked out that episode, please do. So, as I always do with these episodes, I like to jump into some sports. So with that, let's see what's been going on in the world of sports with the TLFS Pod Sports Update. Welcome to the Sports Update. Here are your headlines. This Super Bowl. Incredible time. Incredible matchup between the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. The LA Rams played in their house at SoFi Stadium just outside of Los Angeles in Inglewood. Even though they were the visiting team against the Bengals, they still came out on top. 23-20 was the final score. And a lot happened during that game. Odell Beckham Jr. for the first time finally won his first ever Super Bowl. I thought the game was really good. It was a tight game. It wasn't a complete blowout. My personal opinion, it was nice to see two different teams that weren't typically going up against each other in a normal matchup. It wasn't your typical suspects in the Super Bowl. Your Patriots, your Eagles, the same teams we've been seeing over and over again for the last few years. So that was really cool to have the LA Rams win the Super Bowl again, 23-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals. I did look at some of the photos on Twitter afterwards, after the game was over. The traffic was insane. Somebody put out a tweet saying that the people in traffic probably weren't going to make it home until preseason of next season. I hope they all made it home, and I hope they all made it home okay. Fast forward, we'll jump straight into the Olympics. The Olympics is on NBC right now. So many great stories from Norway, the Russian Olympic Committee, the United States, Austria, so many different teams right now. Norway leads the medal count as of right now with 21 medals. As of the time of this recording, the ROC with 18 in the United States with 16. But the headline out of these Olympics, especially in ice skating right now, is the ROC, where a 15-year-old is actually her test results that led up to the Olympics on Christmas Day came back as positive. We are not exactly sure of the drug that she was using, but from reports that I've heard, basically it's saying that she is not of age. Well, she's of age, but she's not at will because it's not going to be because she's not 16, basically. So the people that are around her are being investigated. Went up to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Basically, they rendered the decision early this morning early yesterday morning at the time of this recording, that she will be able to compete in today's final round of the ice skating competition. Now that means for everybody else in that competition, if she does win, all the medal ceremonies will be on hold until they get that sorted out, and they won't even do like the Panda Bear, like I'll hand you a Panda Bear for winning. They're not going to do any of it. So we'll see what becomes of that kind of ordeal. I have been watching the Olympics over the last couple of days, and they've really just been amazing. Monobob has been really good. Alana Myers Taylor tested positive for COVID prior to the Olympics, just before the opening ceremonies. As we all know, at the time she was supposed to be the flag bearer for the United States of America, was unable to, got it passed on to two other athletes. But she got 2 negative tests and was able to train in her room, and last night picked up the silver medalist in the first ever monobob. Super cool, and congratulations to her. Going forward into the golf news, Scottie Scheffler finally wins his first ever PGA Tour event, and what a week. He finally cracks up into the top 10 in the official world golf rankings as well with the win. But some great stories there as well. 2 hole-in-ones back-to-back, and I was talking with the former colleague, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure I am. And let me just check and see who made those hole-in-ones. But I was talking to a colleague, and I'm curious to know, people, who pays for all the beer? Obviously, the beer and the booze, the athletes, the golfers pay for it. But for an event like that at one of the coolest golf courses, at the Waste Management and Phoenix Open, who pays for it? That's Scottsdale. And that's what I want to know what the bill is. And so if you look at some of the footage, and we go to hole-in-ones here, just to look at the highlights, there was 2 of them. As I had mentioned, Carlos Ortiz makes a hole-in-one during the final round, which is huge. And one of the viral videos that went around was a police officer saying, "Hey, if you're drinking, don't drink and drive. Let's be safe about this." Which obviously he was doing his job, but right as he said that, hole-in-one drops, which is incredible. I would love to, at anywhere I would love to have a hole-in-one. That would be one of the places I would love to have a hole-in-one. So Carlos Ortiz made a hole-in-one as well, and there was one other. Sam Ryder as well made a hole-in-one, which was huge. Now, the interesting tradition about a hole-in-one at the stadium course, as it's changed over the years, and everybody just throws beer bottles and drinks all over the green, and they clean it up so fast. I hope they're recycling it all. But that's pretty much it. Some of the major things I wanted to cover for the sports update. And let's get back to the episode. For all the latest news in the world of sports, visit NBCSports.com. And for the up-to-the-minute headlines on what's going on in the world of golf, visit Golf Digest and Golf Channel. So let's get into some of these topics that I had on my mind here for this episode. Obviously, it's February, it is Black History Month, and I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. Obviously, in the sports update, we talked about the Super Bowl. One of the other proponents to the Super Bowl is the halftime show. If you're unaware or you are sleeping under a rock, the Super Bowl halftime show is one of the big reasons a lot of people watch the Super Bowl. Outside of the commercials and the football, it's the halftime show. But um, on Sunday night, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar all headlined the halftime performance. It was kind of a Compton inspired performance. I thought it was really, really cool that we are just now kind of seeing in this era of Black History Month, um, I guess, people being appreciated for their craft and what they do. Yes, I know they're relatively young on the scope of history. A lot of them are over the age of 50. I think all of them on the stage are over the age of 50. But it just shows how much music has come and kind of evolved over the last few decades. And I was definitely up in my living room dancing around. Um, it was a great performance from Eminem's "Lose Yourself" to 50 Cent hanging upside down and just a set. Kendrick Lamar, his set. Honestly, I thought his set was really, really good. It could have gone another 45 seconds. I think the whole halftime show could have went an extra like 3 minutes. But I know time is money and it takes time to set stuff up. I love that there was no elaborate set changes. Things are changing left and right. No costume changes. Everybody was in kind of their set thing and rocked with it. It was just about the music. Um, LeBron was loving it. He said it was the best halftime show he's ever seen, and so many others as well. So that's my first take on Black History Month. Um, I am currently working on a project, and I'll touch on that in a minute. That kind of relates to Black History Month on something, and somewhere else I kind of want to go with that topic. But let's talk about kind of the dynamic over the last year of what America has been through. Obviously, we're still in a pandemic. If you haven't been around, um, which has changed how people have viewed um, and how we've interacted with one another. Um, which I think is interesting. I think a lot of people have come closer together and kind of put down those barriers of saying, "Oh, I can't talk to this person. I can't hang out with this person because X and X reason." But it has brought a lot of people together and kind of get over their differences, basically, um, and you know, come together and find a solution to come and reach some common ground, which I think is useful. It's needed for as well. But talk about Black history. History evolves. Let's look at the golf scene um, as it relates to Black History Month. Obviously, you have Tiger Woods, Calvin Peete, Lee Elder, so many others. But let's look at the younger generation and kind of the impact that they're having on the game that I love so much. Let's look at a couple different brands. Trap Golf um, makes it okay to wear a hoodie um, on the golf course. They had players wearing hoodies on the golf course just a few weeks ago in the APGA, which is the Advocates Professional Golf Tour, which partners with the PGA of America, basically gives minorities a chance to elevate their games to get on the Korn Ferry Tour and ultimately the PGA Tour. Coincide with that, you look at these rankings in college players. A lot of college players are the best amateurs in the world, but aren't um, some golfers, minority institution, minority golfers aren't given that same chance. So basically, what happened was over the last course of a year, they created the APGA Advocates Tour kind of collegiate ranking. Moby Dillard, professional golfer now from Florida A&M, was the first one to kind of eclipse that list and be the first one. But now he's on playing on the APGA Tour. He's sponsored by Nike. But Trap Golf, uh, Dillard, playing some great golf out on the tour. So many others. But let's look at another brand here, Eastside Golf. And a lot of people are going to say Eastside Golf this, Eastside Golf that. Okay, whatever. Look at the impact that they're doing. They came out, essentially built a clothing line, the brand from nothing. So did Trap Golf. Yes, they're a little earlier than Eastside Golf, but I still think they're having the same mission, right? Having the same mission of bringing people together, making golf cool, um, and kind of like the PGA likes to say, making golf your thing, which I think is well needed, long overdue as well. Um, but they're doing great work as well. So shout out to Cooper, Earl Cooper, and Elijah Wan for making that happen. And they're really kind of um, growing that brand every day. They really are, and it's cool to see people wearing their stuff around. They made Jordan. They partnered with Jordan, made Jordan golf shoes with their brand as well. So Trap Golf, Eastside Golf, Deuce apparel as well. Kind of makes fine apparel for the golf scene. Cigar holders, scorecard holders, bags. Um, and I really want to highlight these brands, not only because I've met a lot of these people who've made these brands um, kind of what they are, and have either worked with them or know them through other people or whatever the case may be. But they all have one goal, right? Make golf cool and make golf more accessible for a lot of people. And that's something that years ago wasn't on the forefront of the minds of a lot of people in the golf industry. And I think today, now more than ever, it's coming more of a cultural thing to kind of say, okay, if you're gonna build a brand, you gotta make it diverse. And if you build a brand, you gotta be able to reach a whole bunch of people. Just not your standard demographic, um, which is the older male, um, high elite status, not people from lower income families and kind of less fortunate backgrounds. Make it so everybody can play. Um, and that's what I really like about these brands. Yes, they've obviously they gotta sell their product for a price in order to make a profit and make more, you know, apparel and gear and whatnot. But they really all have the effort of coming back together um, and bringing people together. So shout out to them um, as they kind of navigate through these times of being black in America, but having golf be involved with it as well. Um, it's really incredible to see. Kind of staying on the diversity inclusion Black History Month kind of topic. It's February. I was going there anyway. The PGA Works Collegiate Golf Championship has finally been announced for this year, 2022. Um, when I tell you in this next part, um, kind of what's been going on last year, it will all make sense. PGA Works, if you don't know, used to formerly be known as the PGA Minority Collegiate Golf Championship, which is now called the PGA Works. It's a branch of PGA Reach, which is overall seen or kind of have a governing body of the PGA of America who kind of helps run that. Um, that great tournament's been happening for years. I've played in it twice. which was an incredible experience to say the least. Um, Bringing together different minorities and different schools, from individual players from Division 1 golf teams, Division 2, Division 3, um, smaller colleges together to play some of these top-notch golf courses. Um, it used to be hosted at the PGA Golf Club. Um, at the time when it was hosted, it always coincided with some of these major championships. As we all know, the major championships have kind of been reshuffled, especially with the Olympics every 4 years, and now golf being an Olympic sport, which I think is great, long overdue. Um, but it's kind of came time to elevate this championship. Um, Last year they played it typically, like I said, they played at PGA Golf Club or PGA Golf Club, Port St. Lucie, Florida. Made the huge announcement with investors from Comcast and so many others to play it at TPC Sawgrass. Yes, TPC Sawgrass. Um, Home of uh, that famous par three, 160 something yards, Island Green. Yes, they played it there. Brought all of some of the best collegiate athletes from the best HBCUs in the country to come play. Um, in this event, typically you just sign up and you in 9 to 10 times you get to play and whatever case may be. But they did a lottery system. It was very select. They capped the field off like 140 players for that field. And um, at the time, I went down there to cover the tournament for Golf Digest and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore PGA Golf Management Program. So I was there on the journalism side covering the event. When I was actually beginning to wrap up my studies at UMES, I was working on my PGA portfolios, which is a component in order to gain PGA membership within the PGA of America, and got a call saying, "Hey, COVID was still a thing, still is a thing." A couple guys dropped out due to COVID protocols, and I was already on site. Bad part is, the golfer and me should have known. A lot of my friends were telling me, "Hey, if you're going down there, bring your golf clubs. Just don't go and don't not bring your golf clubs." I didn't bring my golf clubs because I'm solely going to report and do the journalism side of the game. Um, and I get tapped to play. Have no golf clubs. So shout out to TPC Sawgrass and the entire staff: Derek Sprague, PGA of America, Joe Ellis, Scooter Clark, so many. Shane Miller, who's the tournament director, for kind of hooking me up um, in that short little bit of time to get the best result that I could. Wasn't even expected to play, but got to play at TPC Sawgrass for my final PGA Works Championship, which is the 34th edition. This will be the 35th edition this year, and it's taking place at the Union Club um, in Philly, which is going to be an incredible venue. Both courses are donating their courses May 2nd through the 4th, which is going to be just insane. So it's going to be hosted by Union Club of Philadelphia at the golf clubs at Liberty Hill and Torrensdale, um, both at around the same area. It's huge, incredible venue, and they're going to be donating their courses for the most culturally significant championship in collegiate golf. Basically, it serves HBCUs, Hispanic serving universities from all over the country, Division 1, 2 titles. So yeah, basically it works as a playing tournament. It works as a career expo for players to get into the game of golf. They'll have PGA members there as well, kind of guiding these student athletes to kind of play their best golf and also be prepared for when that time comes to say, "Hey, either professional golf is not for me, or I'm done with my collegiate career. Can you make an industry and can you make a career out of the game of golf?" And so that will be um, at that venue. It's basically a partnership, like I was saying earlier, between PGA Reach, Comcast, NBC Universal, which owns NBC Sports, which owns Golf Channel. Basically, it's fostering diversity and inclusion through the PGA Works program. So that's super incredible. See, possibly might be there on site that week. I just don't know as of yet. Still working out the details of that. But if I go, I'll let you know. All right, transitioning now to where I've been over the last year, um, which is a lot. I left you in January of 2021. That was going into spring semester. Um, Spring semester flew. I was still at UMES. I was studying um, toward obtaining my PGA membership and my degree in PGA golf management. Well, I'm glad to report over the span of playing from January 2021 to May 2021. Within that span of playing the PGA World Championship, graduated with my degree in PGA Golf Management from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Proud alum, which is, you know, so incredibly humbling that a lot of African American males, especially in this industry, in the golf industry, don't get that chance to kind of, live out their dreams. And this wasn't the original plan for me to, go to PGM school. And I talk about it in other episodes. Always wanted to be in politics and teaching and news and whatnot. So, but to kind of fast forward years later and to find a degree in a program that I love and a career that I love, to graduate from that program means the world for me. So graduated May 15th of 2021. Graduated 2 days later. I moved um, down to kind of the DMV area, the heart of the DMV. Got not one but two new jobs, which I'll be glad to tell you about. I accepted the assistant pro position at the University of Maryland Golf Course, and I accepted the media relations graduate assistant um, position covering golf for the Terrapins, which is incredible honor. Two historic golf teams, historic coaches as well. Two really top-notch programs on the rise. So that's what I do. Now, you might have noticed I mentioned grad graduate in that second title. Um, Over the course of January, from that time when I took time off from that last episode of Abby Parsons, which is episode 203, I applied to grad school. Um, the Philip Merrill College of Journalism is the name of the college here at the University of Maryland. I got accepted into their Master of Journalism broadcast track. So that's what I'm currently doing. I'm currently in grad school doing that program at Merrill College, which is incredibly cool. I get to combine kind of both worlds of golf and journalism together. I've had my eyes on this school for years, this grad school for years. I'm so proud to be a Terp. I am proud to be a Hawk of UMES. Even though a lot of people like to say, "Hey, you're a traitor, you're a traitor," they're just joking. I will do anything for UMES any given day of the year. But that's where I'm at now. Assistant golf pro at UMD Golf Course and the media relations assistant for the Terps. So yeah, that's what's been up with me, which is crazy. So much has happened in a year. Started grad school, moved. Like I said, COVID's still a thing. Um, so I implore you to get vaccinated, be safe, get boosted if you can. Um, it's so important. I want you around to listen to these episodes, but I want you around to enjoy life as well, which I think is so cool. One other related note, which is super important, the Open um, is 149 days away. The majors are right around the corner. You got the Masters, the Open, the U.S. Open, um, some great majors. Obviously, you have the tournament at TPC Sawgrass, which is the Players, known as the fifth major. So the Players, the Masters, the Open, the U.S. Open. I'm missing one. It's losing my mind right now. Uh, but yeah, whole bunch of great golf over these next few months, and I'm so excited to kind of talk to you. The PGA Championship, that's what it was. That's what I forgot. But that leads me to another point, um, which I am thrilled to announce. Um, Over that time in May, when I was moving and graduating and starting my new roles, I got elected into the PGA of America as a full-fledged um, teaching professionals, golf professional. So I'm now golf professional. And so glad to represent the PGA and all the black PGA members that have come before me. So I'm like 180th black PGA member out of 24,000 PGA members in the whole world. So I take that honor very seriously. I'm already getting involved with some PR work and some diversity and inclusion work. It's something that needs to happen, um, and I'll continue to keep doing. So that's that. Basically, that's a sum up of where I've been. Um, yeah, I can't really think of anything else that I need to fill you in on, but obviously, I gotta say this. My views do not infect uh, uh, my views do not reflect the views of my employer on some things. All my opinions are my own. And University of Maryland Golf Course and UMD have their views on certain things, and so my views are my own. I'm not saying that they disagree with my views, but just to say that um, off the bat. But yeah, that is basically what I have to say for this first episode back of 2022. I'm so glad to be back. Um, and yeah, so looking forward to many, many more over these next few months and the next year to kind of give you these stories of what's going on in my life, the stories of other people, to kind of make golf more inclusive, the business world more inclusive, the journalism world more inclusive now that I am in that field as well. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next one. I don't know about you, but I feel better. I feel enlightened. I feel great. I hope you feel great too. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Langston Frater Show podcast. If you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe on anchor.fm/TLFS pod. Connect with me on social media using the hashtag TLFS pod. We're going to do it a little differently. Instead of doing an episode every week, we're going to try to do an episode twice a month. One Tuesdays, yes, Tuesdays, of course, will be the release date unless I tell you otherwise. But hopefully, it will be every 2 weeks. We'll have a guest on next show or next 2 weeks. I'll let you know who that is when that guest gets confirmed. Just want to check a couple things on that before I do that. But yeah, after almost a year of being away, so glad to be back with you. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you comment and subscribe, share it with your friends as well. And I'll see you back here next time for another episode of the Langston Frater Show.